Well, good morning. Welcome to Agape. Agape, unconditional love. We're a spiritual center that teaches love. We teach that love is the awareness and acceptance of our wholeness. We're steeped in the teaching of the science of mind, Zen Buddhism, Hinduism, Christianity, Judaism. All of the great religions have truth in them. We pull from them, and we pull out the aspects of love. We do not have a dogma, but rather we offer a practical way of living. It centers on the practice of meditation, the practice of mindfulness, and the practice of learning how to use the law of cause and effect. Your mind creates your life. And so with that, before we get into today's talk, let's take a moment and let's get ourselves centered. So if you will, bring yourself to a comfortable seated upright position, your back straight, hands gently resting on your lap, eyes closed. Bring all your awareness to your breath. Now take a long, slow, deep breath in through your nose. Hold it for a moment. And now exhale through your mouth, letting your body relax. Again, another long, slow, deep breath in. That's it. And now let it go and feel all the stress and tension falling away. Again, one more long, slow, deep breath in. And as you release, feel yourself going deeper and deeper into relaxation. Visualize your thoughts like clouds floating by. You don't attach to them. You simply allow them to float. You understand that you cannot stop your thoughts, but you can stop holding on to your thoughts. And so they come in and they go out. They come in and they go out. And as you do that, you set a clear intention, an intention that you are the master of your mind. You are the master of whether your thoughts have influence on you. You're the master of your emotions. You set a clear intention that your desire in life is to become aware of your true inner nature, that of the soul, that of the observer, that of a deep inner awareness, where you can go into that place where you are a point of consciousness within the infinite. And in that state, it is a state of perfect peace, of perfect harmony, of perfect balance. You see life through the right view, and your intention brings that right view into everything that you think, say, feel, and do. Every day, you are working at becoming the master. And every day you expand your awareness and your personal power. So set that intention for yourself. Let it go deep into your cells, into every cell, the space between the cells, where I am the master of my mind. I am the master of my emotions, and they respond to me. And with that intention firmly implanted, gently start to come back to this time, to this place, to this day, to now. And when you're ready, open your eyes, put a smile on your face, and be fully present now. Today, I'm going to continue my talk series on the Eightfold Path. Last week we talked about right view, seeing things as they truly are. Today, we're going to look at the second path, right intention. And basically, right intention is the power of choosing who you will be. Because when you sit back and you think about it, you understand that your intentions shape your reality. Every thought, every word, every action begins with intention. And this is something I explain to people all the time because I'm a pretty earthy guy. And a lot of people say, as a minister, you can't talk earthy. It's not right to talk earthy. And I said, you're failing to understand something. It's not the words I speak. It's the intention behind the words. And that's something I get criticized because I'll use words talking to my wife in front of other people, and they say, you should never have said that. My wife fully understands the intention was loving. It was not harmful. She's not bothered in any way, shape, or form. And I'm trying to teach people it's the intention. You can say all the nice words, but if your intention is not good, there's going to be some offense going on. But if your intention is good, people understand and they know that. You see, intention is the silent force shaping your life. Here's the big question. Are you directing your intention, or are you reacting to life situations in front of you? So let's explore this and go deeper. Let's go, why does intention matter? Number one, your intention precedes every action. Is it just a response that you've been conditioned to do, or is it a consciously chosen thing? You could be responding to your wife and your natural response is, yes, dear. Or your husband, yes, dear. But you notice how I said that? What did you feel? But if I were to look at my wife and I would say, yes, dear, with an intention of listening, it pervades the action. They hear, feel, sense, and know the intention. It's basically the energy behind the thought. You can say a word 12 different ways, and your intention gives it a specific energy. I notice that when I'm doing meditation, when I'm leading a guided meditation, a guided visualization, I notice the difference in how people receive it based on the energy behind the words that I'm speaking. Am I fully present? Or am I just going through the motions? There's a real difference between going through the motions, being present, and doing it with intention. Why intention matters? Because you're aware that you're always creating, consciously or unconsciously. Just think about that. There is a law of cause and effect. And that law of cause and effect never stops. It surrounds you. It's with you 24/7, 365 for eternity. It's always creating. So if you're not with intention, that law is unconsciously creating and you're getting experience that you don't want. So right intention is a conscious commitment to live from a space of clarity, compassion, and non-attachment. You're not attached to what's going to happen, but you set the intention. 3 core ideas of right intention. The first is the intention of renunciation. Renunciation doesn't mean giving up everything. It means letting go of craving, letting go of clinging, and the addiction to pleasure or comfort. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have desires, you're not going to have cravings. It doesn't mean that you're not going to enjoy pleasure or comfort. You're letting go of the clinging to it. You realize it will come and it will go. The next idea is the intention of goodwill. Goodwill means releasing anger, releasing resentment, and choosing kindness. I had the opportunity to demonstrate that all last week as I handled the affairs about the auto accident that Jean and I were in. So when I was dealing with the insurance company or the adjuster, my intention was to be kind to everyone I talked to and release any possibility that I need to be angry about it. I don't need to be angry about it. It happened. Yes, I am inconvenienced, but I can't change that. So when I dealt with the insurance company adjuster, when I dealt with the claimant's insurance company adjuster, when I dealt with the body shop's appraiser, I did it without anger, without resentment, and I did it with a sense of kindness. And you know what? The response I'm getting back is tremendously different if I didn't do it with goodwill. The third core idea is do everything with an intention of harmlessness, choosing compassion over harm in thought, word, and deed. Your ability to live from a place of being aware enough to not harm anyone or anything. You're going to say things that are going to upset people. What was your intention? Did you say it to hurt them? No. Did you say it for revenge? Well, that's not a good thing. Did you say it for spite? That's not a good thing. But if you're innocently saying something and they just have a button, well, you know what? You're cool. Your intention was honorable. It was not to harm. So with that, this idea of right intention, it's a deep commitment to living aligned with truth, regardless of the circumstances. And I think that's really the key here. Regardless of the circumstances, you are aligned with truth, seeing how things really are, accepting what is, and creating a positive intention as you deal with what is. So let's take this from a Western perspective. From a Western perspective, it simply means choosing freedom over attachment. If you're attached to a result, you're in prison. You don't want to be in prison. The greatest value each of us has is we choose the value of being free. So when we can have the right intention, we're choosing freedom, not attachment. Here's a good one. It's choosing love over resentment. It's choosing love over judgment. You see, love and judgment are complete opposites of one another. They cannot coexist. You're either in love or you're in judgment, pure and system, pure and sweet. You're either in freedom or you're in attachment. When you're attached to things working out exactly as you want, that person doing exactly how you want, when you want them to do it, you're not free. You're bound by your attachment. Here's a big one. It's choosing peace over drama. What is most television? Drama. 90% of all conversations that people have, according to psychology, is about complaining and gossiping. What are complaining and gossiping? Drama. So if you really break down and you start living with right intention, you're probably going to talk a lot less. And you're probably not going to be a fan of a lot of people. Why? Because people are stuck in the drama and they want to talk about that drama all the time. Well, when you talk about drama, you're not free. You're not choosing love. So you got to ask the question, why would I choose that? You see, these aren't just concepts. These are daily. In fact, these are moment by moment choices. And every moment, you're casting a vote of who you choose to be. Are you choosing drama? Are you choosing peace? Are you choosing love? Or are you choosing something completely else? That's the key thing to ask. Where are you coming from? So intention is your inner compass. And your inner compass keeps you aligned through all of the storms of life. You've made a commitment. Here is what I value most in life. and your inner compass, because you've set an intention to live to what you value most, the storm can happen. The auto accident, the health challenge, the relationship challenge. You don't veer from your intention. You see, without intention, your autopilot takes over. And what's autopilot? It's what you've been conditioned to do. It's your reaction. And think about this. Autopilot simply means that you're going to be acting from your personality. What's your personality? It's a sum total of everything you've ever experienced in your life. And that's not necessarily what you want, especially in a situation that's new, because the new situation is going to require new ways of doing it. It's going to require you having conscious intention, seeing it as it is, and then going beyond what you know into a new way of looking at it. Habits are good, but you got to make sure that they're habits you've chosen with intention. Also, right intention is consciously living. And that is the key thing. To live with a level of awareness, not to be a victim, not to let the society around you control you, not to let all these notions that you bought into from when you were a child to control you, but to live consciously. Living this way, consciously living, is where we shift from reaction to creation. In other words, things are happening in the world, and we can't change that. The question is, are we reacting to it? Now we're a victim. Or are we creating an experience from what is happening around us through right intention? Let's get clear on one thing. Intention does not equal desire. Desire says, I want to get something from life. Isn't that what most people say? I want to get this from the job. I want to get this from the relationship. I want to get this from the spirituality. Intention says, this is simply how I choose to show up in life. Very simply. I choose to the best of my ability to show up in life aware, kind, empathic, and loving. And that's a challenge, because it's not everyone that's doing that. And so you're going to be on your own doing that. Desire is focused on an outer result, where intention is rooted with inner integrity. We have been conditioned that the outer will fix the inner. And we've got that backwards. It's the inner that makes the outer different. It's your inner integrity, your inner perspective that creates your outer experience. So just because we're saying that this idea that you can't have desire, let's break that down a little bit. That's not exactly what we're talking about here in any way, shape, or form or fashion. It's really a lot different than that. It's a commitment to align with truth. The fact that you are consciousness and you're expressing yourself as perfectly as you can based on where you are right now. So, inner integrity. You can have goals. You can have dreams. But right intention means you pursue them without attachment, without desperation, and without sacrificing your inner peace. That's the work. Without attachment, without desperation, without sacrificing inner peace. So 3 questions you can ask about to anchor right intention is simply this. Am I acting out of fear or love? Think about that, fear or love. And you can really substitute the word judgment for fear. Am I acting out of judgment or love? That's a question to tell you if your intention's good. Am I attached to an outcome or a way of being? You see, when you attach to an outcome, you want it to happen exactly in a specific way. You're limiting the universe because the universe can give it to you in infinite ways. And when you have right intention, of what you're desiring to experience, and you release the attachment, it's going to come in a different way. And then the next question you could ask is, what is or would the highest vision of me choose this? Whatever the choice is, whoever you're dealing with, whatever you're choosing, let's say to eat, would the highest version of me choose this? That's a great question. Am I acting out of fear or love? Am I attached to the outcome or way of being? And would the highest vision of me choose this? You see, right intention is not a one-time decision. It's a moment-by-moment rededication to your truth. Better yet, a rededication to your path. So let's look at some real-life applications. Let's say someone disrespects you, verbally disrespects you. You feel anger rising, just rising up. Anger, you're boiling over. Right intention would say, I choose peace. I don't need to match the other person's energy. Did you get that? That takes great courage. I don't need to match the other person's energy. Let's say you're in a situation and you're faced with tempting to do a shortcut, but that compromises your values. Right intention says, I value integrity over convenience. I got a simple one. I am managing the finances of the Agape Spiritual Center, and any money that would go to myself or to Jean, I need to get the treasurer's approval and a signature on the check. Well, yesterday I was doing a reimbursement check for Jean because she conducted part of the women's retreat last weekend and she had expenses. And I was pulling it up and I said, oh, it'd be just so easy for me to sign that check. It would be done. Instead of waiting 4 or 5 days till I could get it to the treasurer and have him sign the check. I'm waiting because I'm not going to take the shortcut. Everything I do financially, whether in my personal life or in my business life as a minister, I am integrity. And that's more important to me than the speed in which something happens. Another application, when you're about to speak and you feel the need to prove yourself. Right intention says, I speak with presence, not ego. Anytime you feel you have to prove something, rest assured, that's the ego coming out, and you can let that go. You should never have to prove anything to anyone. You know who you are. If they can't hear it the first time, let it go. Otherwise, it's just a waste of your energy. And what it's really saying is, I don't know who I am because I'm trying to argue a point. No, argument never wins anything. When you're arguing, you're just trying to prove it to yourself. Every situation is an invitation to align or abandon yourself. I invite you to align with what you consider most important, what you consider the intention. You see, it's not what you say, it's the energy behind it. It's the frequency of your thought that determines the frequency of your life. Realize the frequency you put out is the frequency you attract back. Everything is energy. And energy, all energy, is at a frequency. What you say is energy being spoken. How you say it is the frequency. How you say it will be the frequency in which it's received. You see, when we live life with right intention, our words land differently. Your presence changes the room that you walk into. Your relationships deepen. And guess what? Your impact expands. When you're coming from kindness and love, rest assured your impact on others will be felt, because that energy cannot be deceived. It cannot be not known. People sense and know it. Why right vibration? Because people feel aligned energy. Everyone you meet will know if your intention is good or harmful. They'll know that. They feel when your motives are pure. People know when you're trying to use them. I know that all the time when people come up to me and they want something, or they just want to share. I know what the motives are. And they feel when you are centered in truth and not in performance. In other words, are you fully present with them? Are you really listening? Your vibration says everything. So what's the foundation of this path? First, the first path, right view, says I see clearly. I see things as they are, not as I want them to be. Right intention says I choose consciously. I choose with an energy. And when you get that, the rest of the Eightfold Path just flows from here. This is the foundation. I see clearly. I choose consciously. So having said that, I'm going to give you a weekly practice. The weekly practice is this. Every morning, set an intention for how you choose to be. You can choose that, but not me. And then in the evening, reflect. Did I honor what I set my intention to be? Ask yourself this question at night. Where was I in alignment today? Where was I not in alignment today? So that tomorrow I can set a new intention and do my best to honor it. My friends, the journey is about consistency over intensity. This small practice of consistent action rewires your entire world. Everything changes with a persistent and consistent practice. Here's the truth, the way I see it. You will become whatever you consistently intend. Not what you hope for, not what you wish, but what you consciously choose to be and demonstrate in the world. So, I ask you, right here, right now, who are you intending to be from this moment forward? I want to thank you for joining me today. It's a powerful message. I invite you to share it with others. I invite you to listen to it over and over again. Take notes. Because there's a lot of things here that I believe have changed my life, and I believe they can help change yours. Also, if you'd like to know more about the Agape Spiritual Center, go to agapespiritualcenter.com and go there, sign up for my daily newsletter or my weekly newsletter and thought. And while you're there, you can check out the calendar, see how you can plug in. And most importantly, if you're receiving something from this, do give back. Make a contribution to Agape. It is through your generous contributions that we bring this message to the world. You'll get a longer message every Sunday that's put out there on YouTube or on my podcast channels or on my social media channels. But every day I put out a 5-minute talk about what's on my mind for that day. We've got daily meditations at 7 a.m. Central Time that you can plug into anytime you want. So join us. It's so much more fun on the journey when you do it with like-minded people. And with that, I want you to know my intention was pure. My intention was to give you the best I had on this. And I want you to know I'll sleep well tonight because I think I did. Much love to you, and create the best